Derrick Fox here. This is finally the week of the Alamo Bowl. It is almost here. We're just a day away. How excited are you now that it is finally here?
Very excited. You work all year long from that perspective to see it come together, and now here it is. It's game time from that perspective. So we really have a fun time, getting a chance to show a great great event to our community, and hopefully have a great audience in attendance as well.
It is game time, but tell me a little bit more about the events and the preparation that's been leading up to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. We literally kick off right after this year's game will start January 2nd next year from that perspective. But really, it's a lot of activity that goes on with sponsorships, with ticket sales, volunteer coordination, event production, and management. And then when you kind of announce the teams, then you're blending two schedules together. The team schedules, our schedules, making sure it all comes together. So a lot of moving parts. And then once the teams hit town, you get some slight adjustments once they're here. They may want to change a few things, so you're kind of adapting at that point in time. And then finally, by the time you get to game day, it's like, tee it up, kick it off, let's go.
All right, so we've got the Texas Longhorns representing the Big 12, Pac-12, Utah here. What do you like about these two teams?
Really, two very good teams from that perspective. They've had very successful seasons, and I think this is a chance to really, close the year on a high note, and that's what they're really here for. They'll both say, hey, we're here to play a football game. Yes, they want to have a lot of fun and have enjoyed a great week from that perspective, but at the end of the day, they want to win the Valero Alamo Bowl and go home the champion and kind of kick off their 2020 season as well.
And you are a student of the game. Do you anticipate any surprises on the field come game day?
Yeah, I'm sure there are going to be a few tricks up some coaches' sleeves from that perspective, and maybe some things that haven't been shown all year long, and maybe some players that haven't been shown all year long. Keep in mind now with the 4-game redshirt rule, you might see some players actually get in and play a little bit that you haven't had a chance to see before. So there'll be some exciting activity, and hopefully it keeps up the excitement in the Valero Alamo Bowl, where we come down another last-second shootout from that perspective as well.
New Year's Eve game, the final game of 2019, the final game of the decade. Let's take a second. No pressure at all. Let's take a second to reflect on this last decade of Alamo Bowl games. Do you have one moment that really just sticks out to you that you remember and cherish about all these events all these games that you've had?
Well, they're all unique and different and a lot of fun from that perspective. I think, this is the 150th anniversary of college football, so I just saw where there was a ranking, and they had our 2016 game, TCU and Oregon, ranked number 3 all-time bowl game, so that obviously was the big comeback from that perspective when Oregon had the big lead at halftime. Coach P went in and changed his wardrobe at halftime, and TCU comes back and wins the game in the second half. So that one's one certainly in the recent memory that has a lot of fun for everybody.
All right, well, we're soon to be ringing in the new year right in the Alamodome. Thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Thank you for your support.